Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I'm Alan, and we're in for a fantastic treat tonight. You're going to have a fantastic show. Got a lot to discuss. Going to talk about NFL, UFL, boxing, golf, and a lot more here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Glad you could join us. And the great thing is you have an opportunity to go ahead and chat live right here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Any point during the show, just go ahead and chat, and we'll go ahead and respond. That's all you got to do. Not that difficult. We're going to make sure that Friday night is a type of night that we all can enjoy. So what we're going to do, without further ado, is we're going to go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Alford Sports Talk Show, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to get this great sauce. Woo! Fantastic sauce right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. And also, you have an opportunity to get a glass bottle if you can go ahead and come on down. That's right. If you can go ahead and be in person, meet the man himself right there, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. That's right. You'll get a glass bottle. If not, go to flbbqsauce.com. He'll get you this shipped right to you. And the great thing about it is this is the bourbon flavor. This is mixed with actual bourbon by Dunamis Bourbon Whiskey. That is fantastic. This is the newest flavor bourbon, but you're going to get this and a lot more. You're going to also get the classic right there. And if you want to go ahead and try yourself some honey mustard, all three delicious flavors. Can't go wrong. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play a Sam Scola song. The first song you heard just now, the intro, was by Sam Scola Songs. Now you're going to hear song number 2. Sam Scola Songs, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Alford Sports Talk Show. Let's go.
Comes in for variety, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Please don't forget to visit Chef G's right there in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Great thing is you can visit them right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Get yourself that delicious sauce. You will not regret it. Let us know what you thought about the sauce right here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Definitely, you cannot go wrong with that great sauce. We tremendously appreciate you right here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Thank you so much, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Really appreciate you. Man's doing big things. Stay connected. And yes, you know, it's one of those things here. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL news. And let me just go ahead and first say that I just think it's really cool that Shedeur Sanders, he showed up. He like a kid in a candy store. He enjoyed the locker. It's going to be a great situation for him. I think, God has a way, and he'll pave a way for you if you do things, right. He's in a great situation because he's in a situation where he can actually compete for the job and actually go ahead and get the job. He's in a great position where he can work hard towards a goal. And, I think sometimes that's even better than getting drafted by a team where you're going to be benched for maybe a year or two. Then maybe 3 years into it, you might have a chance to play then. So if he does his thing and wins out the job, he's got a great opportunity. He's got a great opportunity to get a position in this job because Joe Flacco, as much I really appreciate him, he's a vet. He's been around a lot, Super Bowl champ, and he's been the man. However, history has shown that Joe Flacco will miss some time throughout the season. So that will be an opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to go in there. I know he's got a lot of haters, but there's no hate here. I really do hope that he does really well. I really do. And I really didn't think he was going to get drafted in 5th round. I thought he was going to be worst case scenario, 1st round, 15th pick. Worst case scenario. Obviously, I was way off on that. But you know what? Everything turned itself around. He did get picked. And I agree. I agree with what Tom Brady said, that it's not where you get picked, it's what you do when you get there. From the initial point of view, it makes a difference as far as your contract and sign like that. But you're in a whole new ball game now when you start. What do you do once your career starts? And that's what it is. What's the biggest thing? How do you advance with the position that you have? And the NFL wants you to play and perform. And that's what they're most concerned with. And if you're able to do that, you're able to get that opportunity. So definitely that was really cool. And I did see him, it's so far so good. And I did want to talk also about the George Pickens trade. Sometimes you don't have to say everything in life. I saw what happened with Jordan Lewis and George Pickens, with George Pickens taking off the helmet of Jordan Lewis, and coincidentally, George Pickens comes in to Dallas. Jordan Lewis goes to Jacksonville. So if the trade never happened for Jordan Lewis, the two of them would ironically be teammates. That's how the NFL is. It's not as big as you think. It's actually there is 32 teams, coaches, players, and managers and owners. But when you break it down, people are not that far apart. And I've learned that even covering football, that, for example, I'll be interviewing somebody and they'll be connected to five, six, seven, eight, 10 players that you probably didn't know at first, but as you kind of get into it, you'll find out. Look at who I get a chance to meet quite often and talk quite often to. Since now this is second season, is Coach Bob Stoops. But Coach Bob Stoops, he coached, Baker Mayfield right here in Tampa. He coached Kyler Murray, who's in the NFL. He's coached quite a few players that, and these things have legs. So, and then all the people he knows on top of that. So it's not as big as you think. So before you know it, you can be connected to someone else. The only thing I would say on that situation was if I was Jordan Lewis, I would have probably kept that tweet and that post to myself. I would not have posted it up that I'm glad I'm leaving because of that incident with the helmet. It's just drudging up bad memories. I would have just left it alone, because if you leave it alone, you don't say anything, guess what? More than likely, not in all cases, but in more than likely, people wouldn't have brought it up. And since you tweeted it, since you brought it up, people mention it. But I think George Pickens is going to do well there in Dallas. I think it's going to be a good fit for him. And I do think Pittsburgh, I don't know what it is with receivers in Pittsburgh. If you are high maintenance or you're a diva and you want to get the ball thrown to you a lot, I just don't think Pittsburgh is the best fit for you, because history has shown if you are a demanding wide receiver, which unfortunately status quo is, most wide receivers are very diva-like and demand a lot of attention and things of that nature, Pittsburgh is not a good fit for you. It really isn't. Just the way that they are, the way that they go about their business, they're not going to cater to you like you probably would want maybe a smaller team to. So I think it's a good thing that George Pickens is now with the Cowboys. I think that's a good fit for him. And I hope things, turn around for the better for him, because he is a talented receiver and he's at the point where, people are starting to see if you can play before they go ahead and turn the page. So speaking of receiver who I feel as if is on that same trajectory would be Tyreek Hill. I feel like people are starting to get a little annoyed at some of the comments he's making. And now he rated the top 5 quarterbacks, and none of the top 5 quarterbacks he has in the league right now is his own quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. And this is a way of taking a dig at Tua, and a dig not just at Tua, at the Miami Dolphins organization. That's what I don't like about Tyreek, is that he acts immature and he does these things to get attention. First, when you got there, Tua is more accurate. He's more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. That's what you said. You said he was more accurate than Patrick Mahomes, and nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody fell for that. Not only did they not fall for him being more accurate, they know without a doubt that Tyreek Hill was in a great situation. Leaving Patrick Mahomes, no matter what you say or do, you are not going to be in a better position. You are going to be in a worse position for yourself. You may have been in a better position as far as money and things of that nature, but as far as winning your career, there's no way, no how you was going to be in a better position going to any other quarterback in the league, number one. Number two, you went to Tua Tagovailoa. No disrespect to Tua. He's a very good guy and everything. But it is shown, as we all could see, he is a player that does have a history of having concussions. So he very rarely plays the entire season, whereas Patrick Mahomes very rarely misses time. That's important because that's going to give you more opportunities for you to get reps as a wide receiver. Not to mention, you were on a team where they had just already won, Super Bowls, and a team that's has been in contention almost every year. You also not only have Patrick Mahomes, you have the number one coach in the league, Andy Reid. So it was a business decision you made, that you chose money over everything else, and you realized after the deal was done that it was not the best decision. And typically in life, there's some advice. If you make decisions based on money at all times, that's the overriding decision maker, the number one factor. You will find out in life, more cases than not, you'll find out that that money decision didn't end up being what you thought. When you make decisions based on money, what I mean by that is, okay, I'm taking highest bidder, or I'm taking, the most money, and everything else will fall into place. Usually, when you do make decisions on that, you'll find out that your unhappiness, your peace of mind, your what you thought was going to be a lot more money, usually ends up not being what you think when you make that your number one priority. And that's what happened to Tyreek Hill. He just wanted a bag, and the Chiefs were actually giving a very competitive offer, probably not as much as the Miami Dolphins. But to me, it would have been a wash anyway. Miami's a lot more to live, and all the other things that you're giving up, it was a no-brainer for me to stay in Kansas City. Tyreek goes ahead, decides to sell us that, Tua is better. Now, a year or so later, people are asking him who's the 5 best quarterbacks. He doesn't even mention Tua in that list. I mean, I can understand if you didn't put Tua first, but you should put your own quarterback somewhere in that list. So he didn't do it. Not surprisingly enough, that's not going to be a situation that's going to go well again this season. That you can see where it's starting. You didn't have your quarterbacks back, and you went from one season saying he's the number one basically quarterback in the league, which no one believed, to he's not even in the top 5. So sometimes less is more. Just don't even say anything about it. So that's the NFL news. Oh, I did want to talk also about something else here in the NFL. Let me bring up these things, some communications that they did send to me before you move on. If you're into international play, the great thing is they have a lot of international play for the NFL. Let me bring that up here. Okay. Let me bring that up for you guys here. Yeah, it's that's the cool thing about the NFL, man. It's very intuitive. They definitely try to do things, and yeah, we're going to talk about the Washington D.C. and so let me go over the games. They have one game in Germany, Berlin. That's going to be the Colts. They have a game in Spain, Madrid. They also have another game in Ireland, Dublin. And they have another game in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. The Jacksonville Jaguars will return to Wembley Stadium in London. It's in the UK. So get your passport ready. And that's, wow. And again, that's the thing about the NFL. It's the NFL and everybody else. I cover the UFL, and definitely they're doing their thing to get some advertisement, but that's amazing that they're going to have all of these international games. Get your passport ready. And in 2027, Washington, D.C. will host the 2027 draft. So, yes, and that will be in partnership with the Washington Commanders. And, yeah, So it was made official with in the Oval Office. I won't even get into my thoughts on that. We're gonna keep it strictly sports here. Yes, so start planning 2027. The draft will be there in Washington, D.C. I definitely do think it will probably eclipse at least 75,000 people plus, if not more. I just definitely think it's going to be big time. So start planning right now. So let's see here. 2026 also, let me bring you that, will be right there in Pittsburgh, Point State Park and our Cruzy Stadium. I'm sorry, Point State Park and a Cruiser Stadium in Pittsburgh. So that's going to be Pittsburgh 2026, 2027 Washington, D.C. So start planning right now to go ahead and check out the draft. It's going to be awesome. And let me try to go ahead and give you guys an update on the UFL game here that's in the Friday night game. And I have been bringing you guys some live coverage in the press conference, but these two teams are not two teams that I actually cover. So let me just take a look here. Yes. So they're not two teams that I actually. Well, if it was one of the teams was Arlington Renegades, then you'd be in good shape. And so since one of them is not, I won't have that access. I mean, I should say I won't be in a press conference. Let me just say it like that. I won't be in a press conference. So, so you know, let me give you an update here on the UFL game, though. That is in place right now. That's the DC Defenders. That is going to be a good transition for me to go into in just a moment here after I update you on the score, because this is a significant game when it comes to the Arlington Renegades. Let me just take a look here and give you guys an update on the score. Let me take a look here. Give me one moment. Let me go ahead and update you on the score. Let me just go ahead and pull this up here. Okay. All right. So we're doing good here. Trying to get the most up-to-date score for you guys. All right. Give me everything I need to know but the score. It's halftime. Okay. To be continued. I'll give you the score a bit later. You know, this thing is it's not giving me an up-to-date score as quickly as I would like it. Let me just make sure. All right. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I definitely do think. Yeah, so let me go ahead and talk a little bit. Let me just take a look here. You have comments. The new Super Bowl champions, Washington Commanders. You know what? That's a great point there. That's a great point. The Washington Commanders they have a great shot of winning it all. I really think they're a very, very good, young and hungry team. Jaden Daniels is outstanding, and they came really close to actually making it to the Super Bowl. And I feel as if, yeah, I think the way that they were playing, they were a very good chance to beat Kansas City too. So yeah, I definitely do think the Washington Commanders have a very good chance of doing it all. Jaden Daniels is fantastic. I've thought the Bucks were going to get past the Commanders, and that wasn't meant to be at all. So props to Jaden Daniels. William McCray is absolutely right. I I definitely do think they have a good chance of winning it all. And I'm not too sure about the Eagles. I just feel like I know they won the Super Bowl and everything, and I know that everything is all good for now, but I just don't feel like, particularly in Jalen Hurts, I just don't feel like they still have that hunger to go for and winning 2-3 years in a row. I think they're celebrating and they've kind of like, all right, I got it, that's it. Like now there's nothing else you can criticize me for. I got the ring. Well, that's true and all, but you still have a lot more to. You always have motivation. You always have a lot more to play for. And most people who win a Super Bowl and want to win multiple ones would say, hey, we're enjoying this, but my goal is to go ahead and not just celebrate this one. We're looking forward to the next one. I feel like he's all right. I got this one. You guys can't criticize me, and we're moving on, and that's it. And I just don't feel like he's got that. All right, let's go ahead and get it for next year. Let's have the mindset of not being a one and done. I don't see that in the Philly. I don't see that at all. So they could be a one and done, and that will give another opportunity for the Commanders. This is setting up really good for the Commanders because they are actually a very good team, and they were just, I would say, a few plays away from making it. So I agree. I wouldn't count out the Super Bowl champions being the Washington Commanders. I feel like if they had to play the Bucks again, I think the Commanders would win again. And when push comes to shove, yes. So let me try to give you guys an update on the score here. This is a big game because all tied at half. 12-12, halftime. All tied at 12-12. This is a big game for definitely the Arlington Renegades because they're chasing the DC Defenders and they're also chasing the Battlehawks, which brings me into what I think needs to happen. The Renegades, because of, believe it or not, just 2 games that they really should have won and they didn't win. Those 2 games that I'm talking about is the Birmingham as well as the DC Defenders. Those 2 games specifically, they should have closed out and won those games. And that now has put you in the teams that are left. The good news for the Renegades, everybody's playing pretty much similar teams, meaning the DC Defenders are playing similar teams. The Battlehawks are playing similar teams, and so is Arlington Renegades. There's really only one difference, and that's pretty much this week's game. Reason why I say that because this week the Renegades are playing the Michigan Panthers, but they're playing very similar teams. When I looked at it, each of these 4 teams that are left, the Arlington Renegades are playing 2 games against winning teams with a winning record and 2 games with teams with a losing record. And so is the DC Defenders, and so is the Battlehawks. They're all playing teams with 2-2. 2 teams that have winning records, 2 teams that have losing records. And it's going to come down to execution. Who's going to execute? The only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about with them playing the Michigan Panthers is the two games that they have lost. There's one thing that is in common. The two games that they have lost, well, three games I should say that they lost. Three games that they lost. There are two of them they should have won, but of the three games that they lost, the thing that really made a difference is the quarterback making a run for it, making a run, and that run or runs end up costing him the game. And I feel like that part kind of makes you a little bit nervous as far as these last four games because they're playing teams that do have mobile quarterbacks. And Tiamo said it right that he felt like in order for them to win the game, he was going to have to make a play with his legs, and he did. And that kind of pretty much closed the door with the Battlehawks. Max Duggan, he made a play with his legs and had a big game. That kind of put the Battlehawks in a good position to score. There wasn't in that last game. That was the one game that I would say the Renegades really had no chance of winning. Yes, you kept it close the first quarter or so, but you had 11 penalties, you had 4 turnovers, and you didn't score in the red zone. That right there tells you didn't win the game. So they're going to have to get in the red zone and score, being the Arlington Renegades. Another thing that they're going to have to do is they're going to have to start running the ball. They're going to have to start running the ball because I feel like teams have stopped the run and put in a position where they're passing a lot. And with the pressure and you passing a lot, that usually doesn't bode to a good outcome at the end of the game. So I love what the Renegades were doing at the beginning of the season with the running game. I know they had a couple of big runs, but they were running the ball very, very effectively. I feel like the run game is really getting stuffed a lot. And at this point, in order for them to win, they have to get the run game going. They cannot turn over the ball. They have to get back to where they were before with the pre-snap penalties. And they can't turn the ball over, including interceptions. And I just feel as if we have to wait and see what happens. But that's a lot of ifs that they have to clean up. And you got to do it quick because they pretty much have to win these games. If you don't win these games, if you don't win these games, it's a wrap. Let me just make sure something here. Yeah, so yeah, let me just give me 1 second, guys. Here, yeah. So they got to stop the pre-snap penalties. They cannot turn over the ball, and they got to start running the ball. And the defense got to keep up what they were doing. Not last game, but the game before that. They have to step up big time. Jane has to get a pick or so back there. The pain train has to come up big because it's crunch time right now. This is the season because right now they are, unfortunately, they're going to need a little bit of help, meaning they're going to have to win their games and they're going to have to hope that either the Battlehawks or DC Defenders kind of falter because they lost to the DC Defenders, and so it's not over yet. It's not over yet. They got to close out the show, and I would say because of their pedigree of the last 4 games of the season, they did this in 2023. They could do it again, but that's what they need to do. Don't turn the ball over. Make sure you get the run game going again. Make sure that you keep the defense solid. You have to get a takeaway, and you cannot let their mobile quarterback break free. That's what you have to do. So if they can do that, they might have a chance. If not, it's a wrap. And time is running out. Time is running out. That's one of those two games that they really should have finished strong and closed the game out. Made a huge difference, especially the one with the DC Defenders. That one was the biggest comeback in UFL history. So, yeah, you gotta make it work. And for those people who are going to go to the game in Arlington, guess what? It's Fan Appreciation Day. Fan Appreciation Day. You guys are going to get the homie hookup, as they say. You know, they're going to have kids 12 and under. We'll go ahead and go to the game for free. There's also going to be some other great things, too. If you're of age, the nice thing is you're going to get $2 beers. You'll have tailgate with face painting, balloon artists, and more. And kids and families on the field post-game with ice cream, free ice cream. So kids and families, you'll be on the field post-game and you get free ice cream. You'll get a chance to meet a few players there. So it's going to be awesome. It's the last home game there for the Arlington Renegades in Choctaw Stadium. And go ahead and do it. Go ahead and go. And, you know, I feel bad because I didn't make a home game this year. It was kind of tough. What I mean by tough is that props to the UFL and the Arlington Renegades. They made it so convenient for me to cover the games. It was a no-brainer, you know, like you bring in the post-game conference right there. That was awesome. And it's still awesome. I'll be doing that tomorrow after tomorrow's game. Give you, you know, I'll be jumping into. We'll see. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow. We'll see. But at least we'll be in a post conference tomorrow after Michigan's game. So you guys can enjoy that free ice cream. Kids and under get in for free. Face painting. It's a great time for the families. And if you're of age, $2 beers. So you guys enjoy yourself there in Arlington. I'll make sure I give you all the insight after the game, post game. So let me also just say here, let me switch gears and we're going to talk a little bit of golf here. Let me just do that for you guys. Yes, so. Oops, sorry about that. So let me go ahead and. Yes. All right. So golf news was really cool. Yep, I have to definitely give a lot of props here. Let me just make sure I don't miss anybody here. Yeah, so the Evan Oglesby Foundation, I went to their event. EO Foundation was fantastic. Evan Oglesby, for those who don't know, is, you know, a former Ravens NFL player, and he had a Pro-Mingle golf social. For those who are not familiar with that is, it's a event that you get a chance to play golf, but you also get a chance to network with a lot of entrepreneurs. Some are local right there in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and some, like me, are not local, but there's a great mix of people who are local, coming out of town, and you get a chance to mingle with people, get a chance to meet people, share your vision, share their vision, exchange ideas. It's awesome. This is the second year I've done it, and it gives you a great opportunity. You know, it gives you a great platform. It gives you a great opportunity for you to play golf, do a kind of like a meet and greet. Not only that, not only do you get a chance to mingle with other entrepreneurs, both local and around other states, you get a chance to have fun. You get a chance to meet a lot of his former teammates. You get a chance to, which included Hall of Famer, Ed Reed, but also you got a chance to not just that, he had other, players there from other sports as well. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. It really is a lot of fun. And shout out to a lot of people. Darren Krantz Jr., race car driver, was 14 years young. He did an interview. I met him right there for the first time at that event. Really cool. We golf too. Props to the ladies. There were some other entrepreneurs there that I'm going to follow up with and give a platform and an opportunity for them as well. I have got to get back into that as well. So yeah, it was just awesome to hear some of the ideas from the entrepreneurs, and the event was well done. It was, that was another thing too about that event. Last year, 2024, it was sunny, it was hot. Year later, it rained right before this event started. The good news is it stopped raining a little bit after the event started. Then the sun kind of came out a little bit, which was really cool. We had a window of opportunity to take some pictures outdoors. And then as the night went back on, later, the clouds came back, and then we had like torrential rain, real bad. But by that time, it was dark outside. So we had a nice little break for us to take those pictures outdoors as well as the interviews. So that was really, really awesome. And I was glad we was able to take the interviews outdoors because they had a DJ there. They had a DJ that started the night, but only about an hour or two into it, guess who takes over? Ed Reed. Ed Reed did a fantastic job. He really moved the crowd. That's no joke. He's already an NFL Hall of Famer. The man is an outstanding DJ. I see he's going to be a DJ Hall of Famer as well. The man did a phenomenal job. Had the crowd moving. It was awesome. This event is in Georgia. I'm here in the Tampa area, so it was a drive for me. So much so, he did such a great job that I actually left before Ed Reed left. He still was on the ones and twos, and I had to go because my daughter had a concert early in the morning back here in Florida. So I could not stay. I pretty much stayed till 10 o'clock p.m. and I had to go. And I was already there from about 3:45 till 10. And I had to go at 10 because I had to drive back to Florida for me to be at my daughter's concert early in the morning. So when I left, Ed Reed was still doing his thing. He is a fantastic DJ, and that was really cool. And props to everybody who attended that event. It really contributed to everybody having a great time. So, props to Evan Oglesby for the invitation. And I'm glad I went ahead and went again for a second year because it just keeps getting better and better. And, that's another thing for food for thought for you is this. I went to an all-pro dad breakfast. One of the lessons they said, may your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. May your yeses be yeses, your noes be noes. Meaning if you commit to an event, you go ahead and fulfill that commitment. I had an opportunity during Evan's event to cover two other events that kind of had schedule conflicts. I told them I've already committed to going to Evan's event for year 2, and that's where I'm going to be at. Even though it rained right before I got there. In fact, I was actually a little late to the event because I wanted to get there even earlier than I got there. I pretty much got there right before the event started. I usually get to events much earlier. Reason being because it was raining, slowed down traffic quite a bit, but keeping your word, as that pays big dividends. Got a chance to meet Darren Cranch Jr., got a chance to see Ed Reed doing his thing on the 1 to 2. Definitely Evan was happy, so that was fantastic. May your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. So that's some food for thought for you for the rest of the year. Meaning, if you tell someone you're going to do something, show up an event, you're going to go ahead, stay to your commitment. If you tell them you can't make it, it is what it is. But if you say yes, make sure yeses are yeses. So thank you to EO Foundation, raceforkids.com, that's Darren Cranch Jr. His that's really cool. That is his, that's his who he supports. Race for Kids. He looks out for the kids even at 14 years old. So it's gonna be really, really awesome. And I hope that later this year, December, he has a race in Florida. I'm definitely working hard to go ahead and make that as well. And let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead. Let's see here. I'm going to talk a little boxing news in just a little bit. But before I do that, let me go ahead and thank somebody who is really, really cool. Let me thank songwriter, there he is, and producer Sam Scola Songs and his wife, Mary. Really appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. Sam Scola Songs. All of the music you hear tonight, you can hear it again. That's right there on YouTube and Spotify. All of Sam Scola Songs. He's written all the songs, the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song, the intro song, and any song you hear in between. So thank you to Sam Scola Songs and his beautiful wife, Mary. Really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And also, he does have some new music there, too. He has some new, funny type music. So check that out. Definitely check that out right there. Thank you, Sam Scola Songs and his wife, Mary. And what we're going to do right here is show you. There he is. There he is, Sam Scola Songs. That's the man, the myth, and the legend. Really appreciate your Sam Scola Songs. And another thing about Sam Scola Songs is, guess what? If you have a deal, if you have a mega opportunity, something that Sam Scola Songs needs to hear, make sure you reach out to him to singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Make sure you reach out to him. Make sure you do that. However, that singalongwithsam@gmail.com is for deals and contracts. It's not for spam. Man's looking for opportunity. Make sure you give him that opportunity. No spam, deals. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Really appreciate you, Sam Scola Songs. In fact, I'm going to play a little sports themed song right now for you guys by Sam Scola Songs. All right. Really appreciate your Sam Scholar songs. So definitely sing along with Sam at gmail.com. There you go. Make sure. So that game is coming down to the wire here. Let me give you guys the score update on the DC Defenders. I saw where they just Jordan Tiamo just basically scored another touchdown. Brahmas, yeah, so it's gonna be a close game. The Brahmas not going out without a fight. So it's yeah, so Jordan Tiamo scores a touchdown, 18-18, and they were just about to do that, go for the conversion. So the DC Defenders are still towards the end of the third quarter. So yes, these games are big. Arlington Renegades gotta step up the last four games if they want to make a run to the playoffs. It's the good news is they play them again, but they're gonna need a little bit of help from either from one of those two teams, the DC Defenders or the Battlehawks. And I feel like the team that will probably give them a better chance will be the Battlehawks rather than DC Defenders. That's what I'm just feeling on that. We'll see. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that. It's gonna be awesome. These last four games are going to be where it's at. Each one of those four teams, the DC Defenders, the Battlehawks, and Arlington Renegades, all are playing similar opponents. They're playing two games with winning opponents, two games with teams without a winning record. So whoever does the best in those four is going to make it. That's where it's gonna be. 2-2. I even said that you guys playing very similar teams, except for the games coming up this weekend. This is a big game. Again, if you're in the Arlington area, make sure you come out and support. Make sure you come out and support because it is, guess what? It is Fan Appreciation Day and the last home game for the Arlington Renegades. Kids 12 and under getting free. If you're of age, $2 beers. Kids will have face painting and ice cream at the end of the game. Post game, you'll be right there on the field. Might rub some shoulders with somebody. Go there and have a great time. And props to all the Arlington Renegades fans who have supported for them throughout the season. This brings the Arlington Renegade home games to a close, which means that you won't see them play again, even if they do make it to the playoffs. Wait, actually, no. You will see them again if they play last regular season game in the playoffs. Props to all the Arlington Renegades fans. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit here and talk a little bit of boxing. And that is particularly before I do that, let me go ahead and bring somebody on.
Yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
sorry I'm a little late. I just got back from an event.
Oh, my man, doing big things. Let me just make
Yeah,
sure.
a family event.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it back till about 11:30, but where'd he go? Uh-oh.
Okay, there we go. Boom. Yeah, right. Yeah, so family event. So it was fun times
Yes.
for you, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Had to go all the way up north, almost by the Pennsylvania border. So
Okay. Yep. And you also have a situation where the Knicks are doing great.
surprise, surprise, aren't we? I
Yeah,
mean,
you're hanging in
they
there.
take two on enemy territory as well. Because I was thinking, well, they're gonna beat our butts at home, on their home, I should say. But and we came back from 20-point deficits not once but twice, which against Boston is unheard of. I mean, because during the regular season we couldn't beat them at all at home or
Yeah.
away, and and they beat us and they beat us. No, the last regular season game against us, we held it competitive. So, but most of the time, when we play up in the Boston Garden, or now TD Gardens, whatever you want to call it. They usually beat us and beat us badly. But we got Jalen Bruson, who has stepped up to the plate. I think maybe Porzingis' injury may play a factor in it. At least I think that's one of the main factors why Boston has been able to use the choke signal, and that's exactly what's happened. And Wednesday night with the steal, I didn't know John Havlicek was in the building. Oh boy, he stole the ball. He stole the ball. And that's what happened. Came away with a 91-90 victory.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I mean, the series is not over. The Knicks fans know that. Patrick Ewing, who was in the house, he knows that a series is not over until it's over. But definitely, you're right. For them to be where they're at, could have easily been down 0-2. They got a legitimate shot. It's not easy to win in the Garden. I mean, it's not easy to win in Boston, I should say.
No.
It's not easy at all. But
and a comeback gap from not once, but twice.
Yeah, that's props to the Knicks, Wow. And this is the reason why I say LeBron is not the GOAT.
No. But Cleveland's a little banged up too now. They got 3 players injured, and I think it took its toll on them. But they're holding their own tonight. I mean, I think they came back, big against the Pacers. So Cleveland isn't exactly dead yet, which I wasn't. Which I'd be very surprised if Cleveland lost the series. I'd be very surprised. I mean, they are the best team in the league, unfortunately. But this shows why. I'm not too. Okay, I got a big problem here because tomorrow I'm going to be doing some ranting on Coach of the Year. Yes, I know that the Cavaliers won and their coach got Coach of the Year, but I don't think he was the most deserving to get it.
Oh, okay. Who do you think? No. Who do you think should have gotten it?
Me, no. JB Bickerstaff.
Oh, okay.
This year, come on. I mean, you were a dead duck for the past few years, and then you take it all the way up to 46 and 30, 34, what the record was. Going from dead last to getting in the playoffs. And taking the Knicks to 6 games. How could you not consider that to be Coach of the Year? I mean, it shouldn't. Okay, I get it. It usually does go to the coach that has the team has the best record, but that doesn't necessarily always have to be the case. I think it goes to the most deserving coach, and Bickerstaff I think is more deserving than any coach this year to get it.
Yeah, I think you're right. They just like to give it to the team with the better record. I agree with you. Doesn't necessarily mean that they were technically the coach of the year. I definitely do think the team that had brought their team back from more wins than they did statistically having the year or a couple years before shows the coaching makes a difference. And sometimes that bigger gap makes a difference.
Now, take last year in the NHL playoffs for the MVP. Okay, now the Edmonton Oilers lost the series, but Leon Draisaitl got an MVP. Why? Look what he did all throughout the playoffs. Everybody thinks that it goes to the winning team and it goes to the best performance, of the finals. No, it doesn't always go the other way. It goes to the most deserving player throughout the entire postseason, and nobody was more dominant than Draisaitl. Everybody was like, "What? How that happen?" The team lost. It doesn't always go to the winning team. That's a big mistake people make, and it has happened before.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It has.
A lot of people are thinking, "What? That's crazy." But the Oilers lost. Yeah, but look at the overall performance by the player. Okay, you got to look at overall performances, not just what happened in the finals, because that's why everybody thinks that the MVP is the postseason. Whoever did it in the finals.
No, you're right. You're right.
98% of people don't know that. So, but I'm one of the rare people that do understand that. All right, 85%.
Yeah.
I'm in minority category now.
Yes. So, what game are you watching right now?
Right now, I'm watching the Leafs and Panthers stuck in a 4-4 draw right now in the first overtime.
Or do you think he's going to
Almost
pull it
got
out?
away with that. He almost got away with that one. And the Jets are up on Dallas 2-0. That game just went into the first intermission. Well, I mean, the Jets pull a big win on Sunday night in double overtime. I mean, get that. They were down 3-1 with less than 2 minutes to go. And by some miracle, they tied the game up, and they tied the game up with 1.7 seconds left in the third period. I'm like, what? How did this happen? You had 2 minutes left in the game, and you blew it. I am the
It ain't
Jets.
over till it's over. It ain't
I
over
know,
till it's over.
but you know how hard it is to come back 2 down with less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's not
I mean,
easy.
look, the net was empty on the other side. All you gotta do is just dump it in. Game over, right? Right. I'm like, what kind of monumental collapse was that?
You're right. But one thing is not going to collapse, and that is the show tomorrow. Tell us what's going on tomorrow.
Well, of course, we're going to cover the playoffs, as we always do. Playoffs? You say playoffs? The playoffs. We're also going to look at the draft lottery picks in the NHL and the NBA because they were just released. So I promise won't take up. I promise won't take up the whole show. Thank you very much. Also recap the Kentucky Derby, which was a doozy for sure. Got some MLB. We're gonna talk some NFL moves and some UFL. We're gonna no offense, of course. The last few days of the WNBA preseason before we get on with the real season, which starts next week. Yeah, a week from now. That's right. And of course, I got a few Lulus for the ridiculous sign of the week. I think maybe more than one. Diane's got some sports trivia. We got this week in sports history, time permitting, of course. A few ridiculous signs of the week. The good news / feel good story of the week. And it's ladies' night. So, in honor of Mother's Day on Sunday. So, all you ladies out there, whether you're single or not, whether you're a mom or not, or a niece, a mother-in-law, or whatever. Yes, even a mother-in-law. Feel free to call in. Number, of course, is 512-543-4662. Don't forget, we're also on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live now, so keep that in mind. We dumped the StreamYard for whatever reason it was. It just wasn't working on our schedule, so we're gonna go Facebook Live at least for now, unless we get some other stream to work on. But right now it's on Facebook Live. I think you can still catch us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and see what you got there. But everything else is normal. Nothing's changed.
Okay, so the YouTube channel's still there.
I believe we are. But
okay.
If not, you can catch us on Facebook Live. So I'm not going away that easily.
So yeah, that phone number for Lou, the Enhanced Sports Show, tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Yes. So that number is 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. The Enhanced Sports Show with Lou between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. You're going to have a great time. Check the YouTube. Type in Enhanced Sports Show there too. Definitely, it's going to be a great time.
And the Panthers just scored the winning goal in overtime.
The Panthers win. The Panthers are a tough team, folks. They're a tough team. They're the ones who They're the ones who took out the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they won it last year too. So
yeah.
They are a tough team. They are a tough team. I wasn't confident that especially when they got down a couple of games, that the Lightning was going to make a comeback. And unfortunately,
I honestly didn't know what to make of that series. To be perfectly honest, I really didn't know with the Battle of Florida. I mean, you have the Lightning, which of course won three cups and were dominant. Panthers won last year, as I called the Battle of Florida. So I really had a tough time deciding on that series because I wouldn't know how to go. And the Leafs, of course, are no slouch either. So I mean, these two series between these four teams, three teams have been very tough to call. Then again, 4 and 5 matchups usually are. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, it is. You're right about that. And so the Panthers win. They won in overtime. The DC Defenders are leading late, 19-18.
Ooh.
And let me see if I get more up-to-date score on that. Yes, so 19-18, DC Defenders. And I will bring you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to go live tomorrow during the game, but we will see. But I definitely will give you post-game coverage if it's not live after the post-game against the Michigan Panthers and the Renegades. So you'll get that
It's a
from me as
1:00
well.
game, right?
Say again?
That's a 1:00 game, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
correct?
yes, that is correct. 1
Yeah,
o'clock
yeah.
game, Eastern Standard Time Zone, 12 o'clock CST time. That's
Right.
tomorrow against the Michigan Panthers.
That's a Fox game.
Fox game as well. That's right. My man, he's watching that UFL.
No,
That's right.
I'm not really watching it, but I check the schedules for all the events anyway. You know, because I go
Yeah.
like, who's playing one night. Okay, it's a 1:00 game. Knicks play at 3. That's more important. Knicks game is more important to me anyway.
Well, they're all important to me. So I appreciate you, Lou. You're the man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Alan.
Always
All
a
right.
pleasure. Have a great
All right.
weekend.
Thanks.
You
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So again, that phone number is 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. Lou, the Enhanced Sports Show tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Really appreciate Lou. He's the man. So, yes. I wanted to give you guys some boxing news here before I wrap things up here for this Friday night. They, made it official, of course, that the Canelo versus Crawford fight is going to happen later this year. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this. I think this is going to be a win for Crawford. I really do. I just think that styles make fights, and Canelo is a very, very awesome boxer. He's vastly improved from when he fought Mayweather in that loss. He turned that loss into fuel and momentum and motivation. He learned from that experience, and he's became a much better boxer. Having said that, I just think that Crawford is just too strong of a boxer. What I mean by that, he's just so skilled. Canelo, unfortunately for him, he doesn't do well like he just has his last fight where the guy is kind of a runner. Crawford is not a runner, but he's a very slick boxer. Where Canelo needs to really have success, he needs to set his feet and throw body shots and throw hooks. That's where Crawford is going to make it difficult for Canelo. He's not going to stand still for him, stand right there in the pocket. He's going to be very slick, move, box, counterpunch, and he can punch with both hands. He's just so technically sound and counterpunches so well. It is going to be very difficult for Canelo to set his feet and throw body shots, hooks, things of that nature. And when he does kind of plant his feet, I just see Crawford hitting him, beating him to the punch. He's just so quick, so fast. Canelo his style doesn't match up well for a guy like Crawford in that regard. And with that being said, I just think I don't see it being a knockout by Crawford. I don't see that, but I do see Crawford winning a unanimous decision. I just feel like it's going to be tough for Canelo to get hits in. He was getting frustrated with his last opponent. Those athletic guys who move around, who don't give him an opportunity to set his feet. He struggles in that. And it's understandable. Canelo's not, that's his style. He likes to plant his feet and throw his punch. He's not the type of guy who will just kind of like throw and run around and move while he's throwing. It's just, he doesn't have that style. And his Canelo style is great for almost all the boxers out there. But I think with Crawford, he is a different fighter, different all the way around. I see it winning. I see Crawford winning with the unanimous decision. And I don't see anything that's going to change my mind between now and the fight. anything's possible. But yeah, that's why I see it. Yes, Canelo is the stronger puncher. He's the bigger guy. But those things don't matter if you can't hit your opponent. That's just the bottom line. If you can't connect and hit your opponent, especially with Canelo not being able to set his feet and hit his opponent, it's really not going to matter. And that's what's going to happen. I just see Crawford being too slick in there, hitting him with counter punches, being so fast. And it's going to be like Mayweather, but not as much movement as far as running around. I just feel like he's just going to be just too slick for him. And I see Crawford winning this fight. I don't see it going down any other way. And yes, so it is going to be a great, entertaining fight. I will do my best to get coverage for that fight, but typically speaking, with mega fights like that, it's very, very difficult to usually get coverage for those fights in most cases. If you're someone who's been covering boxing, all the time, and that has been your thing, and you have a good following like that, usually those media outlets usually get dibs on it. And would it be a mega fight? That's just how it goes. I definitely will do our best to get in there, but no promises on that. Yes, and let me just go ahead and make sure I don't forget anybody here. Yes, and I definitely want to give major props to the fan man. The fan man is the man. The fan man is the man. I put up some pictures a few days ago when I went to the Rays game. The fan man. And there's going to be a lot more to come with the fan man. I don't want to say too much on that, but props to the fan man. He's out there listening. He knows what I'm talking about. Much more to come with that. Yes. So the fan man is the man, and I appreciate him tremendously. We're going to do some big things together next week. I'll make it official. And let me just take a look here. Yes, next week I'll make it official on a few announcements there too. I don't want to spill the beans on that just yet. But I do want to make sure you get some beads with your barbecue, because we're going to go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors here, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Let me pull this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift basket out here. You see this right here? This is Chef G's bourbon. It is actually made with Dunamis bourbon. It is delicious. It's newest flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, so delicious and addicting. You made a support group. These are glass bottles. If you want to get glass bottles, you have to go right here to 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. You will get those glass bottles if you go to the location. If they're shipped, they're going to come in plastic. Just want to give you the heads up, because this is legit, man. This stuff is great. And he is veteran, military veteran. Why not support somebody who served our country? So you're going to get the bourbon if you get the gift back, the classic, and last but not least, you're going to enjoy the honey mustard. This is awesome, man. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, so delicious and addicting. You made a support group. Really appreciate Chef G's being one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Man, it's some great stuff here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you guys don't forget to visit Chef G's right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. If you can, make sure you go down to 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Again, that's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Tell Chef G's hi. And if you can't, flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. We tremendously appreciate your support here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Quite a few people have told me they have purchased that delicious sauce by watching this episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We tremendously appreciate you. A wonderful man and sponsor is Chef G's. Chef G's is a guy that you guys will be happy you met. And you can see right there in the corner, the man has served here in our country, a veteran. Man can cook. That's the right. So much more here to offer Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So what I have here is the DC Defenders just scored 76 yards. Sanders takes it to the house. And let me get the score, the most up-to-date score. But it seemed like the DC Defenders are starting to pull away in the fourth quarter against the Brahmas. Shout out to Brahma Babe. I got to give the Brahma Babe credit. You know, she comes out and supports. She comes out and supports her you know, the Birmingham. She comes out and supports the San Antonio Brahmas, and they unfortunately have not been striking up a lot on the win column, but it doesn't matter. She comes out and supports. Props to Brahma Babe. Keep up the great work on what you're doing, and she's fantastic. So, yeah, unless the Brahmas could do something quick, it's not looking too good for the Brahmas. Let me get you the most up-to-date score, and then we're going to call it the show. Let me just take a look here. Let me just take a look on this most up-to-date score. Yes, so it's not looking too good. Okay, so we got the most up-to-date score. They coming back. They going out. They're not letting it go. That's the Brahmas. That is 25-24. 25-24. DC Defenders. Fourth quarter, 9 minutes, 17 seconds. 9 minutes, 17 seconds. 25-24. DC Defenders. So it's not over yet. But if you're going to be in Arlington, don't forget to check out the Arlington Renegades game tomorrow. So without further ado, I definitely want to thank all of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show fans. Thank you so much. Evan Oglesby from the EO Foundation, Darren Cranch Jr., We Golf 2. This is just in the last week. There is also going to be several other entrepreneurs we're going to go ahead and showcase as well. Really appreciate all the support, the fan man, and I have some big announcements next Friday. I don't want to spill the beans just yet. It's not the right time just yet. There's a couple things behind the scenes we're ironing out. Next Friday, make sure you stay tuned. Same bat channel, same bat place. 8:30 p.m. CST, 9:30 p.m. EST, right here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. All social media platforms. Want to thank Lou. Want to thank people who chimed in as well. Willie McCrae as well. And all you guys watching on social media. Really appreciate you as well. And thank you, Sam Scola Songs. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. Much more to come and much more to see. Really appreciate you. Thank you again for watching another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and wish you guys a great weekend. Be blessed. Be well. Take care of yourself. Have a great night. Until we see each other again, take care for now.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. The Allen Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest. Thanking our sponsor. It's the end of the show. Tune in again for next week's show. It's the end of the show. Thanking our hosts before we go. It's the end of the show. It's the end of the show.